All right, Catherine, in 2021, the CDC found 44% of American kids had some sort of depressive episodes that lasted as long as 2 weeks, and nearly half thought about suicide. And we do hear about that a lot. And it's pushed more officials to look at mental health resources available and add new ones, but is enough being done? Well, joining us here in studio, Charlie Peck. That's C-H-A-R-L-E, in case you see it on the screen and think, hey, that's not spelled right. It is. Charlie is a therapist, a former teacher, and author of Improving School Mental Health. Now, you taught high school for almost 2 decades. That had to be tough. I applaud all of our teachers because I'd say we got a lot to deal with. You say depression is more they're responding to a behavior, not the problem. Explain that again, please.
Well, depression is complex for sure.
Yeah.
But we're looking at behaviors as the problem, right? And so what we need to start doing to understand our kids better is to look at behaviors as the symptom of the problem.
Gotcha.
Right, so there's a lot going on.
So what would you say is the most common problem that's impacting our teenagers right now?
Anxiety is huge right now. Anxiety is huge, and mostly because we don't know how to respond to that as adults. So it shows up in really, like in ways that we're just so uncomfortable with. But it's because of their discomfort that we adults are uncomfortable.
And what is a good way for kids? I mean, is it just get outside and get some fresh air, put your phone down, and stop looking at the internet? Because sometimes people you can disappear down a rabbit hole for hours, and suddenly, a whole part of your day is gone, and you might not feel like you've accomplished anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of issues with anxiety. It depends on where it's coming from, and it depends on the kid. And also, what we need to do as adults is we need to think about how we're talking to kids about it. They respond to us so much. And so I always say, listen, the adults in their world are the ones who have to effectively respond to it. So we've got teachers involved in their lives, we've got parents involved in their lives, and if we're freaking out, they're going to freak out. They're going to respond to us.
Sure. Do you think the pandemic really triggered a lot of that, not just in adults, and that trickled down into the kids because there was so much uncertainty for a while, and then all of a sudden, all right, we're back to normal, and sometimes kids just don't bounce back as quickly, or if they see their parents not bouncing back as quickly, they don't. It seems like kids have they seem to cope, they're more flexible on things.
Yes, they can be. Again, it depends on the situation and what's going on. There were problems with mental health well before COVID.
Sure.
There were. What COVID did for us is make us talk about it, and actually the government funds it so well in our schools. Because it's so prevalent now, we have to talk about it. We have to address it. So what's happening with our kids is that when they go from one environment, say they're in their family environment and there's a lot of stress there, they'll go to school and those behaviors show up in schools. And then they have troubles there and that goes back to the home and shows up there.
So very circuitous.
Yes, yes. And what we're doing is we're trying to equip them with the skills, and then we're throwing them right back in the same toxic environments with burned out teachers and stressed out parents and expecting them to function well.
Plus also, don't you get sort of a role reversal where the kids have to actually almost counsel the parents? The kids have gone to school, they've gotten some of the services that are available, but then they come back and they're right back in the situation where, wait a minute, let me talk to my mom or my dad about, what the counselor explained to me. Maybe it'll help them, but you get a bit of a role reversal there.
You do, because they get to talk about it way more than their adults, the people in their lives do who are adults. Our generation, we didn't really talk about mental health. And now we're just learning so much more about how it's affecting behaviors and other issues in our lives where they're avoiding a lot, and we just don't know what to do. When you don't know what to do, we do nothing, or we go back to the same things that we tried to do that just aren't working.
Yeah, it's a cycle for sure.
Yeah.
What do you think needs to be available for kids in schools? And also, what about for the parents? Is there anything can be made available for them?
Yeah, well, Dr. Cameron Caswell and I, we co-authored a book for this very reason. We are so inspired by saying, listen, we've got to utilize our schools better. They are our best resources. They have a wide reach. If we're going to make any kind of transformative change, it's going to be there. So we need to equip the adults with some basic skills. They're all evidence-based, of course, but if we equip them, then it's like an immersive cultural experience where the kids will learn how to utilize them well, and then we're all using them together.
Where can we find your book?
You can go on Amazon, Improving Mental Health, Improving School Mental Health, again, because we are utilizing schools. You can find it right on Amazon.
That's awesome. Charlie, great to have you on.
Thank you.
And we'll put this segment back on our website as well if you didn't catch all of it, because some good information in there, and hopefully we can have a smoother school year, because I know parents, students, they've all got a lot on their plates.
They sure do. Thanks.
Charlie, thanks. All right, it's 11:21. We'll take a little break. We'll be right back.
Accused, all new Tuesdays on Fox.
Once upon a time, before